ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about week 2 of the NFL season, which kicks off tonight. We have the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are currently a 2.5 point favorite. I think Miami will come out tonight and win this game in the trenches, and plus, we already know that the defensive line for Miami is good because they got 3 sacks last week. Well, not even last week. 3 sacks on Sunday versus the Jaguars, and they should have at least 2 sacks tonight versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills have knocked off Miami the last couple of years. 2 years ago in the playoffs, and last year, the last game of the regular season, I called that the de facto playoff game. But as far as tonight, Miami should have more than what the Buffalo Bills have, because they have more. Miami has more offensive firepower than the Buffalo Bills. Even though with the addition of Keon Coleman, he had a breakout game versus the Arizona Cardinals. This is your rival. This is a team that knows you best. You played them twice throughout the season. So your division rivals know you best. They know your best plays. They know your weaknesses. So this game tonight, I got Miami winning this game by at least a touchdown, if not more. The next game I want to talk about is my almighty Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys playing against the New Orleans Saints? Now, I believe last week for the Saints was a one-off. They was playing the Carolina Panthers, and we all know that the Carolina Panthers are going to be at the bottom of the barrel this year in the NFL. So, Dallas, first game of the season, my big dogs, they ain't going to let me down, so I'm picking Dallas to win this game by default. By default. I ain't got no bias here, but by default. And they are a 6.5 point favorite. I think that they'll win by a touchdown, if not more. If the New Orleans Saints turn the ball over, the Dallas Cowboys will win by 10 plus points. But I got Dallas winning this game just because they are at home, and it is the very first home game of the regular season for them. The next game I want to talk about is the rematch of the NFC divisional round playoff matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions. I believe Detroit Lions gonna win this game. Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, or as I like to call them, Demo. Everybody on the Detroit Lions, they are gonna have a good game. Plus, the defense might have 2 or 3 interceptions, because Baker Mayfield, he has been prone to throw interceptions when the game gets tight. Now, last week, Tampa, they didn't have a tight game because they were playing the Commanders, and they basically blew them out of the water in the first quarter. But this is going to be a tight game. Detroit Lions, they are going to win this game because they are at home, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Detroit Lions be in the thick of things when it comes to the playoffs. So, the next game I want to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts and the Green Bay Packers. Now, there are some conflicting news coming out of the Green Bay Packers organization when it comes to, they don't know whether they are going to call in a quarterback from free agency. They have Malik Willis on the board, but I don't think that Malik Willis will be able to carry the load for these next 4 or 5 weeks like the Packers need him to until Jordan Love comes back. So I believe that they need to call some quarterbacks, maybe call Ryan Tannehill, maybe call Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz, he's with the Kansas City Chiefs, but if they can call him in and get him a couple of reps, who knows? But the Green Bay Packers, they have to salvage their season because it's not looking too good. And with that, I want to say that the Green Bay Packers will win this game, but you don't know what you're going to see from Malik Willis. And Indianapolis, they have Anthony Richardson, good tight ends, good wide receivers. I think Indianapolis will win this game. Yeah, I think Indianapolis will go into Green Bay and win this game with no problem. With no problem. The next game I want to talk about is the New York Jets and Tennessee Titans. The New York Jets, obviously, coming off of last week's, well, not even last week, Monday night's loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Everybody's still saying that the New York Jets still have kinks to work out. But they've only played one game. We are going to see what they can do versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, do I see the Tennessee Titans going to the playoffs? No. But we can still see what Will Levis is made of because he had a good first half versus the Chicago Bears. He just fell off in the second half of the Chicago. He just fell off of this in the second half when he played the Chicago Bears. So can he put a good game together? We will see. And also, Hassan Reddick for the New York Jets has yet to report to New York Jets camp. So they still have a rock and a hard place when it comes to Hassan Reddick. Will he be able to suit? Is he going to suit up? He may and may not. But if he doesn't, he got an $800,000 fine. Every game that he missed, he will have to pay $800,000. So sooner or later, he gonna be out there on the field. So that's a lot of money that he has to fork over for missing time and missing games. So I got the New York Jets winning this game, and I think Tennessee drops to 0-2. The next game I want to talk about is the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold had a good game versus, albeit, the New York Giants. We all know that the New York Giants will be another team at the bottom of the barrel, along with the Carolina Panthers. San Francisco, we expect them to beat Minnesota. They didn't beat Minnesota last year. We expect San Francisco to make it to the playoffs. If not make it to the Super Bowl, at least contend for the Super Bowl. That's what we expect. Now, do I see a potential upset here? No, I don't. San Francisco has the better equipped players, has the better team, better coaching staff, better system, and Minnesota, this is just a rebuilding year for them because J.J. McCarthy, he's not going to be able to suit up until next season. So I got the San Francisco 49ers winning this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is a blowout in the San Francisco 49ers' favor. Okay, next game, Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. I want to say, now, credit, New England surprised a whole lot of people last week beating Cincinnati in Cincinnati. But Cincinnati the last couple of years hasn't won their opening game of the season. I just think Seattle is the better team when it comes to being well equipped, and Seattle has a better offense than the New England Patriots have. They do. So I think that Seattle will come into New England and win versus New England. But I would not be surprised if New England some way upsets the Seahawks and win their second game of the season. The next game I want to talk about is the New York Giants and Washington Commanders. This game right here, this is going to be one of the best games for Jaden Daniels, because the New York Giants defense, you keep them out there long enough, they're going to give up some big plays. The New York Giants offense, Daniel Jones and all those other guys, will they be able to put it together week after week after week this season? I just don't see it when it comes to the New York Giants even being competitive in their games, let alone winning. So I expect Jaden Daniels to have a great game, a breakout game. This is the first home game for the Washington Commanders, and I expect them to win this game going away, because this is going to be a blowout. Right now, the Washington Commanders, they are a 1.5 favorite. I expect them to win this game going away. The next game I want to talk about is the LA Chargers and the Carolina Panthers. I said earlier in the show that the Carolina Panthers are the bottom of the barrel in the NFL. And they're going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game because you have a young upcoming team with a new coach in Jim Harbaugh that believes that he can win games without his quarterback having to throw for 300-400 yards a game. And they did it last week. Justin Herbert, he only threw 145 yards last week in a win. This week, he might not even have to throw for that much, because they have a good run game, a stout defense, and also you got the Carolina Panthers don't know what type of plays to run, don't know what sets they are in, and plus, Carolina Panthers, do they even have confidence in the team, in the teams and in the players themselves? I believe that they have confidence. Now, I expect this game to be close, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a blowout for the Chargers in their favor, because we don't know what we are going to see from the Carolina Panthers from week to week. We just don't know. The next game I want to talk about is the Cleveland Browns versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cleveland, I'm going to say both of these teams didn't have stellar performances last week. Cleveland, they got dominated by the Dallas Cowboys. Jacksonville, they didn't get dominated, but in the second half, they lost all the momentum in the second half to the Miami Dolphins, because I saw the game between the Miami Dolphins and Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars were going in. They were about to go up 17, and then they fumbled the ball, and then they never could recover. When it comes to this game, I believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars will win this game, because last week they know they let one slip away last week. And as far as the Cleveland Browns, do they have buyer's remorse for Deshaun Watson? They might, and they probably do. But all of that money that you guaranteed him, as far as Deshaun Watson's whole contract is guaranteed. So he is going to get his money no matter what. He doesn't even have to play a down for the rest of the season, and he is going to get paid no matter what. But in this game, the Jaguars, I got them winning this game. I do. As of right now, the Jaguars are favored by 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game by a touchdown because that is how both of these teams are basically on the same level. They just don't they have trouble getting it into gear the first week of the season. That's all. Now, the next game I want to talk about is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Baltimore Ravens. And this is probably one of the games, this probably is one of the games throughout the week that is destined to be a blowout. Baltimore coming home. They just played a tight game with the Chiefs. Plus, one thing about it, they are still a little bit salty from the Chiefs, and they know that they could play better. I just think that this game is going to be a blowout as of right now. The Baltimore Ravens are a 9.5-point favorite. I believe that they'll win this game by at least 10 points or more. I got the Baltimore Ravens protecting their home field and winning this game. The next game I want to talk about is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Los Angeles Rams lost a tough one to the Detroit Lions last week. The Arizona Cardinals lost a tough one to the Buffalo Bills last week. So as of right now, this game is reportedly a toss-up. Even though the Arizona Cardinals are a 1.5 favorite, I believe that the Los Angeles Rams will somehow upset not the Carolina Panthers, but the Arizona Cardinals. The Los Angeles Rams will upset the Arizona Cardinals. The next game I want to talk about is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Denver Broncos. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a favorite in this game, but I believe I see an upset here. Bo Nix, he had a good game versus the credit. He had a good game. Bo Nix had a good game versus the Seattle secondary before he threw those 2 interceptions. I just think that we both know when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the offense is lackadaisical. And when it comes to the Denver Broncos, their running game is great. Now, when it comes to the Broncos, I have them winning this game in an upset because they are at home, and when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, only thing that they did last week was just kick field goals. That's all that they was able to do. They was not able to put it in the end zone. And in the NFL, you got to be able to put the ball in the end zone for touchdowns. They failed to do that. So Denver, this is a chance for you to upset the Pittsburgh Steelers. You are underdogs at home. I got the Denver Broncos in an upset. The next game I want to talk about is one of the games that we have all been waiting for since the season schedule came out. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes. But I ain't going to make it out to be like that because Kansas City, they gonna beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they've always started off slow. They've had early season struggles. They're not going to be able to stop the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and even Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, he has little run package plays. Cincinnati, they are going to be 0-2 for the third time in the last 3 seasons. And Kansas City, they will come out as victorious in this game. Because I just think with Jamar Chase, he might not go to full rep. He might not go to full snaps in this game. And T. Higgins is out. Joe Burrow, he's nursing a hand or a finger injury. Kansas City is at home, and Kansas City, they hardly ever lose at home. So I got Kansas City winning this game by at least a touchdown, if not more. Sunday Night Football, the Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans. Caleb Williams versus C.J. Stroud. Now, when it comes to this game, I got Houston winning this game. Chicago, they didn't show anything to they didn't show anything to me on offense last week. Last week, it was their defense and special teams that carried them to victory. Can Caleb Williams carry his team to victory through the Houston Texans? I don't think so. So I got Houston winning this game. As of right now, the favorability when it comes to the Texans, they have a 7-point. They are a 7-point favorite. I think that they will win more, but I'm gonna take the Houston Texans by at least 7, by at least a touchdown. And the last game of week 2 in the NFL is the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game. Atlanta, don't know what you know what you're gonna see from Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins in prime time, he has not been a great quarterback under the prime time lights, whether it's the Thursday night lights, Sunday night lights, or the Monday night lights. Kirk Cousins has not been a good quarterback in prime time games. Philadelphia, they will have this game. They will win this game by at least a touchdown, if not more. Because when you see it, Atlanta Falcons offense last week was inept. Kirk Cousins threw 2 interceptions and fumbled the ball twice. I cannot put any hope in the Atlanta Falcons right now. I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game by at least 7 points. And with that, those are my predictions for the NFL, the Week 2 edition of the NFL season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. And also follow Key City Sports on TikTok. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.